Happy Thursday to you, everyone. I'm continuing along with our Pups and Pregnancy mini-series, and today I want to give you some tips about when the baby arrives home. This is it. Now the big day has come. The baby is arriving at your home, and you just happen to be a dog owner at the same time. Now, before we get started, Captain, trust me, has never seen me hold a baby before. And I'm just going to walk over here and have a seat. And this will help point out some of the things that I was talking about or going to be talking about today. And you see this total interest on me. Very curious as to what it is that I'm holding. Now, especially if I start patting it. Oh, what a cute baby, what a cute baby, oh, what a cute baby, and there we go. So again, just show this captain has never, ever seen me hold a baby. Trust me. Okay, so now I'm going to add something to this. Oh, Lord, did I do something wrong, Evan? There we go. And I'll go back over here and have a seat. Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, God, I'm probably doing this all wrong. Oh, bless you people. I'll take my chances with a puppy. Okay. All right, I just want to see what Captain would do because, again, he's never ever seen me hold a baby in his entire life. Puppies, yes. Babies, no. So that's pretty interesting to see his total focus on it. And that's some of the things I want you to be careful of when you bring your baby home. So let me just kind of go down the list. I created a little list here today that I want to talk about real quick when the baby does arrive. First of all, I am such a true believer that your dog really should not be home when you arrive back home with your baby. Especially if you're a first-time mom. I just can't say this enough. It's a new world. I mean, you may have experienced a lot of things in your life. You may have had multiple puppies. You may have taken care of someone else's child. It's a different story when you bring a baby into your household. It belongs to you. There's so much going through your mind. You're so tired. You are so stressed. You're so trying to get into your groove. There's nothing like just having the dog out of the household. Now, let me tell you a little bit of something here. I believe in that so much that on Saturday, we will have a new puppy, not a baby, but a puppy arriving in our household. And I'm going to allow the puppy to do a couple of days acceptance. And when I talk about that, that means no physical contact with Captain or our resident dogs that we have. But then after a couple of days of being aware of them, smelling them, seeing them, I'm actually going to take those dogs away because I'm going back to the mountains for about 10 days to do some writing on my new book and also take care of some business stuff that I've got going on there. And I'm going to take the resident dogs, Captain, Dave, and Poe, with me, allowing the puppy to spend time with Kira, allow Kira to get her act together with this puppy, for them to bond, for her to just figure out the routines. It's been a while since we've had a little puppy in our household. And so again, I'm a firm believer in this. Really, really, really think about boarding your dog or just sending your dog off with family or friends for maybe a week, a couple weeks maximum. That's all you need to do. Another benefit of this is no matter where you send your dogs, if I board my dogs, I'm telling you, I can board them for 2 or 3 days and all they want to do is sleep for a full day when they come home. There's nothing like boarding for your dog to walk in the door. I'd rather the dog walk into your house and there's this new thing in the home called that baby while they're tired. You know, they're going to be so excited to see you and to finally be back home. It's like a cognitive shift. Oh, I hear something over there, but I'll tell you what, man, am I glad to be back home. Where's my bed? I had missed my bed. And man, where's my food? And they're out like a light. It's wonderful. So guys, please think about doing this. And again, I've given that advice for years and years and years. And I don't have a tendency to ever give you advice if the feedback that I receive on any recommendation I make is negative, overwhelmingly negative. I get to 1 or 2, but overwhelmingly, the consensus, the majority vote. And the majority vote, by far, everyone has said, Bryan, I really appreciate that. That was good advice. Okay, next thing, assign responsibilities. Yeah, again, have this thing all planned out. This should actually be done before the baby arrives home, but if you haven't, do it quickly. Who's going to take care of the baby? Who's going to take care of the dog? And you just divvy that up. I'll take care of the baby in the morning. You take care of the dog in the morning. I'll take care of the dog in the evening. You take care of the baby in the evening. Assign responsibilities. You have a job. When you're taking care of the dog, you watch that dog. That is your responsibility. Give everyone an assignment so that they know what to do. Again, this is all predictive information. It just really helps us move along if we have like a little checklist. Keep routines the same as best you can. As best you can. And that includes yours. I know you have a baby. It's going to be very disruptive in some households. And some, it really isn't. The babies just want to sleep a lot. But try to do as much of your normal routine as possible because the dog is observing you, watching you. You're changing. You're never up at 2 a.m. in the morning. Never. What is going on around here? Why are there lights on? Why are you so fidgety? How come you're not eating? We always eat right now. And what happened to our walk? We didn't go for a walk. And why did you put all the other dogs up and leave me out? Or why did you put me up and leave them out? Why am I put up and everyone's out but me? Think about this. Kind of keep up the routines because routines provide and help us with the 4 factors of the stress response. It provides predictive information. I cannot tell you how important that is because without it, you don't seem to have any sort of control. And control really does help drive down your stress. Social support. When you're running the show, you're kind of like being that little leader around the show. You're the orchestrator of everything going on. Well, then the animal can lean on you, can look at you. Hey, what are we doing here? What are we going to do about this? I hear something crying in that room. What are you doing about it, by the way? And then finally, an outlet for frustration. Yeah, man, I missed my walk. You let Cappy, he's a cattle dog. You missed his walk. You missed throwing the ball for him for more than a couple of days. I tell you what, it starts becoming very difficult to live with him. He's fidgety. He's antsy. He's more reactive. He doesn't sleep as well. He's like a restless human being who has cabin fever. Do your very best to keep the routines the same for both you and your dog. I know you have to change them a little bit, and we get all of that, but just do your very best. Okay, don't draw attention to the baby. Oh my gosh, one of the biggest mistakes, and this has led to multiple fatalities, not to mention thousands of injuries. I don't know why we think that we have to do this. Oh, Captain, come see the baby. Okay, Captain can see the baby from there. He can smell the baby, stay, over there, from afar. They have an incredible, acute sense of smell, hearing, vision to detect any movement whatsoever, even in low light. Why do we think we have to hand the baby off to the dog? That is initial success, or it could be total failure. That is when babies have been immediately snatched out of hands. Right then, in a blink of an eye, puncture in the skull, limb pulled, right out of your hands. What do you think this is to them? They don't know it's a baby, and I've already talked about that, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. Just do me a favor. He can smell the baby. He can hear the baby, see the baby. He's aware of the baby. It's better if you just kind of carry on with your business. Don't draw attention to it. And I've done a Facebook Live video on baby talking. Another reason why you shouldn't baby talk your dogs. Because I can sit there and tell you, don't baby talk your baby, and you're going to. So that happens. So now you've been baby talking your dog, and now guess what happens? Oh, what a sweetie, and all of a sudden the dog goes, oh, you talking to me? You must be talking to me. When I hear that tone of voice, when I hear those certain words, when I see that certain facial expression, you're talking to me. So now you're drawing your dog's attention straight to the very thing that you don't want to. You're going, oh, what a sweet baby, what a sweet baby you are. Oh, guess it had to hold the head if you bring him for something. Oh, what a sweet baby you are, sweet. Captain is not looking at me. If you can see what I'm seeing right now, all he's doing is honing in on this baby. He doesn't know. Oh, what a sweet baby, sweet baby, sweet baby, sweet baby. Look at him starting to build. Look at his breathing increasing. Oh, what a, mama's little baby, mama's little baby. No, actually, daddy's little baby. Daddy's little baby you are. Oh boy, we start bouncing and all this sort of stuff. Look at that. It's only a matter of seconds. He's whining. Why is he whining? Because he's becoming very frustrated. And there we go, curiosity. Curiosity. Now, of course, you can use your training, but again, I told you, don't always count on your training. Don't count on it, not initially. This animal has to become aware of your child, but it should be done like a puppy. I always recommend about 5 days of going through an acceptance period. I know you're here. I need to figure you out. And I always recommend that, with puppies. And that's what we're going to do with our new puppy. There will be no physical contact with Captain and this new puppy. There will be no physical contact with our Morkies and this new puppy. They will see each other. They will smell each other. They will be aware of each other. But there has to be a period of acceptance. And today, I guarantee you, Captain is happy that I did that when we had Dax, our German Shepherd. Because there is no doubt in my mind, watching Dax, he would have killed him. He was not welcome into our household. You can just kindly leave. You are not welcome here. You are not of my pack. You're not of this family. You can go. Now, it does vary greatly with dogs, but I'm just telling you, time. The couple days will go by quickly. Just allow your dog to learn and just don't draw attention. Be careful playing with the baby inside of your dog. Baby talking your baby around while your dog's around. Allow your dog to smell. When they smell a baby, they've never smelled one before. There's no information in those chemicals. Nothing. There's no chemical information. It's not like I smelled where another dog peed. There's no information. It's novel. And anytime there's novel, it lends itself to exploration. And exploration can then lead itself to me making physical contact. Animals learn through their eyes first, touch second, touch second. Touch is powerful. I want to touch it. Hence why you saw Captain. I want to touch it. I want to touch it. All right? Now, depending upon your dog, how they touch that thing and what they perceive it to be, can be really, really tragic ending to that. Okay, keep calm. Try to stay calm. Coming home with a baby, this is stressful. I'm stressed right now with a puppy coming into my household. I kid you not. I'm not lying to you. I'm a bit stressed. Kira's stressed. We're kind of going through the plans, and because again, I told you the reason why we're going to document a lot of this puppy's development in our household is so that you see that we have to practice what I preach. We have to. And so therefore there's a little nervousness, but we're trying to keep calm. Trying to keep calm. We have to do that. It's been proven that dogs, or definitely suggested on a high level, that dogs do mirror our stress response. Try to stay as calm as you can. And if you find yourself just kind of boiling over the top, you're reaching into that rope, I'm frustrated, this baby's kept me up for 3 straight days, I forgot what sleep is, then maybe it's time to go reboard the dog for a little bit, or put the dog away. But do your best to keep calm, because your stress can actually cause your dog to go into stress. And when that happens, we have this thing called the arousal call. And once I parked up here where this little A is, then as you see here, the distance from A to P, panic reactive, is much shorter. The threshold of me reacting in a way that you were not able to predict because you've never had a baby in the household, you've never had a baby with this particular dog, well then, we don't know what's going to happen. And that will drive the animal further up the arousal column, straight towards that land called panic and reactive. And if it does start to go there, then it has to decay back down to the calm zone. So if a level 8 event set the dog up there in its mind, then until it drops all the way down to its baseline, a level 1 event can do the exact same thing. We have to be careful of that. Keep in mind, around all dogs are 2 zones. They're very real, they're invisible, but very real. The threat zone and the critical zone. Okay, till I figure out exactly what that thing is that you're holding. Is that a toy? Is that an animal? If it is an animal, can that animal pose a threat to me? Until I figure that out, the dog should be able to do that from a distance. They don't always have to touch something to figure out what that something is. So again, I would kind of remind you of the threat zone and the critical zone that I've covered in other Facebook Live videos. Also in the keep calm, try not to fight with family members. Oh, that's hard. It's really hard. We're all humans. We have our points. We have our threshold. And we reach it very quickly. Children have a way of doing that. It's like 180 degrees. One moment you're just overjoyed, the next minute you're going, oh God, what did I just do? It's just part of being a parent. And you need an outlet. You need, like the rats that were given a wooden block after receiving a series of shocks, for something to sink their teeth into. And when they did, it lowered their stress response. It gave them an outlet for frustration. Well, when people are super stressed, they have a tendency, while group living, to use other people as their wooden block. Be very careful about that. You have a relationship already. Don't endanger it, but also don't endanger your relationship with your dog because of, go back and watch the videos on the eavesdropper effect or the bystander effect. Watch out. Be very, very careful. Don't let this thing turn into a pressure cooker. Okay, and then I just have one last page here. Now, you notice how big I wrote that. Never leave your baby alone with your dog. Do not. This thing lasts beyond the week or two. All those other things, not about a week or two, and everyone starts to settle in and kind of get used to one another and get used to routines and get used to the fact that you have a baby in the household. We all have the biology to overcome mild to moderate stressors that are transient. But this thing is a danger. And this danger is going to last until your child, well over 4 or 5 years of age. Some much older than that. So guys, never ever leave your baby alone with your dog. You do not trust your dog like that. You do not. Next, no dog in the bed. Okay, you heard me before. I don't care if you sleep with your dog. That doesn't bother me in the least bit. I don't care if dogs are on furniture. I could care less. But now I do care. Why? Because I did an interview with 4 separate families. Thank goodness none of the babies died, but all the babies became injured when in the middle of the night, the big 70, 80, and one of these dogs is over 110 pounds, a big mastiff. I don't know how that thing could sleep in the bed. I don't know how there could be room for anyone. But nevertheless, in all 4 of these cases in which I interviewed these people and talked to them, the big dog laid down on top of the baby because these dogs are used to snuggling up against humans. Well, the baby was in the bed with one of the parents. In some of the cases, it was with both the parents in between them. So the baby doesn't roll off the bed and all that sort of stuff. Well, guess where the dog went? Dead smack. Kind of like a human taco. And they didn't care that there was a baby there. They just stomped all over the baby. They laid right down on top of the baby. They did it. And we had injured babies. Fortunately, we had no fatalities in those cases. But, again, in my exhaustive research, and trust me, this is what I do. Aggression is what I do. Fear is what I do. There have been multiple babies that have died because of this very thing. So if your dog's used to sleeping in the bed, I'm sorry. Not for a while. Not for a while. Okay, so if you're going to have a baby in the bed with you, no dog. No baby in the bed with you, dog can be in the bed. You just got to come up with some clear boundaries, clear signals to the animal, and make sure the animal can't jump up there in the middle of the night. Okay, next thing, redundancies, and that's one of those redundancies. Have a crate, have a long line. If you have your dog doing plays in the baby's home only for the first couple of days, you may want to think about having the dog back tied to something. Just again, trust but verify. I want to make sure that place is solid. Because remember, if you ever want a dog to respond reliably to any command, it will be dictated solely upon the conditions in which the command was originally trained. So in other words, if you never proved out your place, you never proved out your stay with a baby, then you don't have, at that moment, the luxury of counting on your place to work when there's a baby. So me, I'm going to have a redundancy. All right, if this fails, if this is the moment that my dog chooses to break place, this is the moment, well, I'm going to have a backup. Because now I get to learn. I go, okay, did you know that my dog blew off that place cot twice a day when I was holding the baby or the baby was in the playpen? Yeah, I learned something from that. Okay, so let's do some more heavy-duty training while the baby's out, the baby's awake. Let's do more training because obviously that thing there is creating a condition in which the dog feels it can break the place cot and go to that baby. So prove it out, guys. Prove it out. Have redundancies in place. And then the last thing of all, you should have been doing this. You own a dog, you should do it. But if you haven't been doing it because you've been caught up in life, and imagine that this last year. Imagine the distractions we've had this last year. Incredible distractions. Going down in history, distractions. You've got to watch your dog. You have to observe your dog. Another reason why I'm taking 3 dogs out of my household, so Kira can observe this new puppy. Study her. Watch her. What does she do? How does she react? Remember when Franz de Waal wrote his book, Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are? When he wrote, you have no business trying to modify the behavior of another animal or conducting an experiment on an animal until you have spent a minimum of a few thousand hours studying the natural spontaneous behavior of that animal. You hear that? You have to know. You have to know the animal. Knowing the animal gives you predictive information, which gives you control. And you can't do that when you've got 50 million distractions coming in, because they will come in. You have to control this as best you can. You have to be able to tell so you don't get caught by blindness. You have to be able to tell that one day when your baby's calling in your dog's direction, you have to be able to go, okay, no, that's not going to happen. Stay. Here, honey, pick up the baby, or I'm going to pick up the baby. You have to know. You have to be able to read your dog. You have to be able to tell when the dog is presenting that little crescent moon to your child. The ears are going back. The muscles start trembling because why? There's a super surge of the stress response. Glucose, blood, oxygen coursing through the animal. They're shaking. Hackles may be up. Lips starting to come up. You've got to know this. And you've got to know it at such a subtle level that those are big warning signs. That's a neon sign in the fog, every single one of those. What I'm talking about is that little signal your dog gives you that you can no way articulate why you feel the way you do. It's deep inside of you. It's that animal thing inside of you. That thing that you feel. The pit of your stomach, the hair that raises up on the back of your neck. And when that happens, you've got to go into action. Right then. You have to trust that. And that's not going to happen unless you spend time observing your dog. Know your dog for many reasons, but definitely for the reason of bringing a baby, a helpless baby who's depending upon you to keep it safe. Observe your dog. Study your dog. Okay, guys, that's it. Tomorrow, I am going to talk about the baby's been home for quite a while now. Now the baby's crawling, and the baby's actually walking, and the baby actually is a toddler and wants to interact and do social play with your dog or greet dogs out in the world. We're going to talk about what you need to do to safeguard your child, because those can be some very dangerous moments. And again, this is all about creating a wonderful life with your dog, having children around your dog. I can't imagine my life without a dog, but I certainly can imagine my life without all the scars on my body and face. I certainly can, and I definitely don't want to lose a child, and I don't want you to lose a child either. So tomorrow we're going to wrap up the Pups and Pregnancy series with toddlers and their interactions with dogs. So if you got one of those, make sure you tune in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe, be well. Down dog.